that's not always true, because that person using a certain word may be definitely using it so everybody else can understand the conversation. So we can't assume that they don't know what we know. Like someone may assume that I may not know Spanish. I may be fooling all of you all, and I can speak it fluently.
But
So
this is what you got to notice, that
so I,
he pulled the trick too earlier. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's combat in this. So Rich pulled the stunt earlier, and I commended him. He tried to end the argument and said, "Look, I got you out of your character, so you lose." You get what I'm saying? So it's not just nobody has no problems. It's gonna be a little yelling back and forth because we're just trying to drop content in a different way, and
yes,
it's all positive. Nobody's yelling. No, there's yelling. Nobody's swearing at each other. Nobody's insulting each other. It's just that when we be like, yo, 1+1 is 5, nobody want to listen. But when we or 1+1 is 2, nobody want to listen. But when we yelling at it, yo, 1 Ferrari, another Ferrari is 2 Ferraris. They're like, what? They're talking Ferrari? And then subconsciously that knowledge will hit.
Yeah, and
You get what I'm saying?
I agree with what Billy was saying, which is why I said when I talk as a teacher, I have to meet people where they're at, right? Because whatever level that they're talking on, I'm going to assume that that's the level they want to be on. Otherwise, they would engage with me on a different level, right? So, like, if you know that you are a scholar, and you are meeting another scholar, right? And you're having a conversation, why would you approach this scholar in any level lower than his level of expertise or lower than your level of expertise in any shape, form, or fashion? For what reason? It serves no purpose when you're building. So if we were having this conversation, a scholarly conversation, right? And I mentioned to the brother, I'm choosing the lesser of two evils, right? We have to deal with the context. You can't just jump around and be like, yeah, this works for every situation. I responded off of when I asked him whether he believed in God or not, and he did not respond. So therefore, he cannot come back and start saying, oh yeah, you made a projection. No, brother. We asked you to state your premise. We gave you the stage, and you did not. So now we have to make a consensus based off of your lack of response. You see, so that's what you call gaslighting. It's like you had the opportunity to state your premise, but you did not. He had the floor, and we sat here for about 15 minutes begging him to answer, and he wouldn't. And the answer, and the question was very simple. Do you believe in God? And I even gave him 2 choices, yes or no. And he chose neither one. So therefore, he forced us to assume that he must believe in God because he's afraid to answer the question whether or not he believes in God or not. So therefore, it was an assumption based off of just what he said. It was based off of what he didn't say and refused to answer. So now we had to make an assumption to get a response out of him. So now here he is now, what is it, an hour, 2 hours later? He comes back with a response after he disappeared and tried to make it seem like I was projecting. No.
Can I ask you one quick question?
To answer the question in the build. We had to build amongst ourselves.
Brother, respectfully, really quick question, because I don't want to lose something you said. You said 3 things that are really powerful. It came out of your mouth.
Yes, let's go.
I want to use them to show you another way you can think about what you just said.
Let's go.
Maybe he did not want to say he believed in God because he doesn't, but it's not the God as we understand it. It's no different than, hold on, what I'm saying. It's no different when you mentioned Asar and the original name. Maybe he's looking at God as he knows the understanding that the paganism in the word, and that's why he didn't respond to you.
Maybe, but he didn't.
See my point? So what I'm saying to you, using your exact same wisdom that you gave, you can use that same wisdom to him. But when we naturally, when we
he would have had an answer, Billy. His answer.
Maybe he did not want to answer because he was offended. You don't know. I'm gonna give you an example. There's many things you all talk about that I'm actually involved in, that I actually have helped develop. I sit back, I say nothing, and I listen to a lot of people talk on things that I have personal proprietary knowledge on. I'm gonna be very frank. Now, he may have some personal knowledge he doesn't want to get on. So I don't make assumptions about anybody. Some people try to profess what they do. Some people don't say nothing and they let everybody else do the talking. So I'm just saying, I don't know that of Brother Rich. I don't know. I'm just saying it in
But that's
general.
fine. But if we're on the sake for the sake of a panel, when we're on here to talk, right? If you see the two microphones on here, like the whole point of here is to talk. So if we ask you a question directly, you come on the panel. Like if that's the case, you can stay in the chat. But if you're going to come on the panel and we ask you a direct question and you don't want to answer the question at all, right? You are literally forcing us to make an assumption. The assumption could be you don't want to answer the question, meaning there's something else going on, or you don't know the answer to the question. It's going to be one of the two. Either way, he didn't give us either one of those. He literally just left after 15 minutes of us asking him to please answer the question. Not only us on the panel, but everyone in the chat as well, if you go back. So now, force us into a position where we have to say, you know what? We're going to have to speculate what's going on based upon the response that he did give us, whether it was a full response or a lack thereof. We can make a consensus as to what we may think. Are we correct? Maybe not. We don't know. But we can make our assumption. Absolutely, we're allowed to do that. That's why the word was invented. Because if you got to build off of information, that's what science is. We take a bunch of information and then we make our overall assumption as to what it is that we find. Now, can we prove that? I mean, is it measurable? We haven't gotten to that stage yet, right? So we would have to bring him back up on here. He's going to have to start talking for himself. You see, and that's why we said source up. Because we don't believe in what you're saying or you're not saying. You're going to need to source up on your ideas and on your stance, because we don't trust what it is that you're going to say. Now, if I'm going to say something, best believe I'm going to source up. Everything that I said here today, every piece of information that I stated, I brought either a book reference or some sort of experience that I can show you live on video. So I'm not here playing no games. We here to get down to the bottom of it. Now, some people want to play around with it, but I'm not really playing around, to be honest. I'm keeping it a bean. So, like I said, I meet people where they're at. If he's not in a position where he knows how to answer the question, whether he believes in God or not, it tells me where you are. Whether you want to believe that or not, it tells me where you are. It tells me either you lack confidence in your statements. It tells me a lot. It tells me a whole lot. I literally deprogram people from religion. That's what I do. And I've done it by the tens of thousands. So I know it has a religious mindset. I know it. I can pinpoint it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a salesman. I can break down somebody's character within the first 20 seconds. I literally make my living off of it. I knock on your door. Within the first 5 seconds, I have to be able to tell what type of person you are and how I need to talk to you.
So let me ask. So that's powerful, man. I'm not. Hey, I'm far from the smartest man in the world, man. You know, everybody else is much smarter than me.
Yeah, religious mindset. You can tell.
And pardon me, sir.
No, somebody just posted in the
He's responding to the comments. I'm just posting them on the screen.
Oh, okay. It's hard. I have some choppiness on my end, so I don't want anybody to take me the wrong way if I say anything that's not heard clear. I'm getting some choppy. It's on my end because of my internet. But what I was gonna say, I'm definitely not the smartest person in the world. I'm definitely not the richest person in the world. I definitely don't know everything. You know, I'm humble in that. You know, I also try not to, me personally, I can't speak for anybody else but Billy. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't see what you were talking about fully on that situation with Brother Rich. But I am wise enough to know this. There are not two ways that people can look at things. You know, often who have done that to us, I think we've used the term oppressors, Edomites, others, and all of that other stuff. People have used all kind of terms I've been hearing lately. Generally, those individuals that have done that have traditionally done that to us. You know, they've done us the same way that I'm hearing projected in conversation, because he may not have answered that he was God for a million of reasons. Maybe he just didn't want to answer.
Possibly. Maybe
he thinks he is God. So it's a lot of different ways. So it's not just two sides, it's multiple ways a person can look at some things. You Absolutely. know, and like you have a lot of knowledge, you know, I'm respectful of that, but we got to be careful, you know, to say and make so quick assumptions of what people don't know and what they do know, and that they don't have the ability, because he may have also felt like he asked, answered, and provided. He may be accurate, he may be inaccurate, but we don't know that. And so sometimes when we put projections out on people, it's interesting, you know.
I mean, we knew he was inaccurate because we brought up the sources to prove it. So
he did bring sources. I didn't see any of that.
He didn't bring up a single source, not one. It was
he didn't. Okay,
not even one. It was all opinionated. So and when you standing on that, when I'm standing on that, nah, I don't chill on that. Like when it comes to the historical record, you could get mad at me all you want. The historical record doesn't change. You understand? Like you're really mad at the information. You're not mad at me if somebody was to ever get mad. So I don't care about people's response when it comes to that. I don't care about how they feel about it, even if they don't connect. My only job is to put the information out there at this, because we're past the age of trying to wake people up. I know some people are just waking up. You're late. You're late. Well, if you haven't already started putting into action what it is you're supposed to be doing, you are way far behind. And you're probably going to be really done off within the next decade because you lost out on so many years. This is why we was having the conversation about President Trump versus Kamala Harris. It's not about who's going to win. It's just knowing that you're in alignment with whoever does. The people who was voting for Kamala are just now scrambling, trying to get into crypto. They missed out on the big surge that Elon was lobbing with what you could have been playing. You could have came up, but you were uninformed and you was in the wrong direction. So now you got to turn around and come back to where we are, and you want us to come back and get you. We can't come get you. We too far gone. So the age of information where we are, as advanced as we are, we don't have time to appease people who are not on frequency. If you don't get it, you late. And everybody can't go. You probably one of the people Harriet Tubman would have shot. You're unsure. You're unsure. The gun wasn't for the beast, because we already know the beast is more powerful. The gun is for the people who's trying to keep us from crossing over the gun line. So this is where that's my, well, I should say, my cross to bear.
I have a question.
No pun intended. That's my cross.
I have a question on cryptocurrency.
Sure.
Does anyone know how much energy it takes to for one crypto coin?
How much energy? What do you mean?
Energy. How much energy supports just one crypto?
It depends what crypto you're trying to mine.
I see a thought smiling. Yeah. If you're mining, how much energy? I think he may know.
The reason I'm smiling is because they're suppressing the free energy that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna answer it in a different way.
I don't know
That's giving information to the question. It's not answering the question. I, like many people, I'm actually an award-winning debater. If you look on PBS, I debated Walter Mondale when I was in the 7th grade, and I beat him here in Chicago, Illinois. Just to give some more receipts on myself. So I'm going to say it again. I asked the question very cleanly. I said, does anyone know how much energy, regardless of what's being suppressed? I'm just asking. The point I'm saying is this. When we make broad statements about things and people being left behind, we can't say anything. We got to be careful how we say things in the totality on it, right? Because it's the power owning the coin, or it's the power owning what supports the coin. And if it's the power of owning what supports the coin, how many people know how to do it? How many people have access to it on this panel? My point is, we have to be very, very careful when we're knocking people who we say are being left behind, if we ourselves are not only really just carrying water bags ourselves. So it's just like if you're in a street game, do you want to be the guy on the street, or do you want to be the guy that's supplying? Who's really making the money? Is the plug, or is the dude on a corner? It's no different. So when we say some stuff like this, why we got to be careful, because sometimes it's just this is advice. I'm just having a conversation here. I'm just having a conversation. It's just I've never been to Ghana. I think brother Jamar has, right? My knowledge is passive of Ghana, right? Because I've never been there. He's actually, I think, touched the ground, picked up the soil. He's done some things that I haven't done. So if I speak to brother Jamar, I'm gonna look at him authority on that.
Here,
does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah, I got the answer though. The estimated global annual energy consumption of the current cryptocurrency market is over 68 kilowatts, which is like a lot, equivalent to more than 19 coal-fired power plants operating continuously.
100% correct. And so Why is that important? The reason that I brought that up, that has been the challenge beyond cryptocurrency, and that's the problem that most crypto coins is trying to solve, be it Ethereum, or be it Solana, be it any others. Is there's many of us that have been in crypto for a long time and know the front end, may even have our own coins and even know the back end of it. Some of us may even have schools here in Chicago where they help people with that. So when we say certain things, we have to be really careful when we assume. I love this show. I forgot to say the most important thing: like, share, and subscribe. All the people that support the channel, especially 5/5 channel, who always gives me the grace of giving me a chance to have a voice on this channel. Please salute to GFS Truth, to my brother
Salute, brother.
Fact Check Heck, Jamar Milton, anyone else that has channels, most especially Making a Man of TV. My brother Rich, who always gives me time, is I consider you guys doing something really powerful. Five, I think you're doing something powerful here. I really appreciate you letting me step in. I don't want to occupy everybody's time. And I think I like how your show format is too. I really do. I just think that
So all it is, Billy, the type of debates we grew up on, it's like 2025 that it don't work no more. It has nothing to do with us.
It's different.
Nothing to do with what we want. Like, I would much rather the other way. But we have over 41 people in and out of this room with the content going like this. This is what they want to see. And it's all being more positive information that's coming out. That's what we're bringing into, like right now, how you just brought that up. It's information that's coming out. And this is what we want. Information, because Jamar's going to know so much. G going to know so much. Mark going to know so much. Setworth's going to know so much. You're going to know so much. I'm going to know so much, right? The more we put this out into information, into the universe is going to give us the next step. We're going to manifest it. We're telling the universe, bring the next step, bring the next chapter. We ready for that. We got to make it aware that we're ready for that.
And that's what me and my brother are working on. We're behind the scenes. Y'all don't know. We're developing the free energy system.
It's fire. I got a brother. He goes by the name of Nature Jab. And he's figured out a way to convert plastic into diesel fuel. So he's been working on that.
What?
Yeah.
He made a video on that.
Yeah, you can look him up. He's on everything. He's on YouTube. He's on TikTok. I was one of the first to support him. He's dark skinned with locks.
He got glasses, I think, or I think he had goggles or something.
Yeah, I mean, he had a big accident one day. He had blew up, had an explosion or whatever. So he went through the whole process of,
I think I seen a video of him building one of his machines or something. He was doing like a step by step. That's crazy. That's small world.
That's my guy. So like stuff like that, free energy, I'm really into. I mean, these are the things that they killed Tesla for and all that. Like,
if Elon wants to go to Mars, he's gonna need free energy.
Yeah, you're not doing any type of space travel without that type, because that's the main thing. They have to refuel and bring fuel out to the different space stations that they claim.
Well, not only that, if they want to fix the planet, they're gonna need it.
Come on, So the whole free energy thing is a major topic that everybody should be on. I'm in the energy field. I sell solar. I'm in the energy world. You know what I'm saying? So I know exactly how big this is and how much bigger it's gonna be. So but like I said, like, even though we want to tiptoe around it, out of the abundance of the heart does the mouth speak. Yes, right. So when somebody's talking, you can pretty much learn a lot about them. Most people aren't talking and thinking about what they're saying and why they're saying what they're saying while they're saying it. They're just talking, and they're talking from their heart. They're not stepping outside of themselves and thinking like that. We, for the sake of debate, are doing that. But when you're going back and forth in Discord, people say what's on their heart. You know what I'm saying? So I know the brother didn't do the studies, because when you know something, you don't hesitate on answering the question. Just go to a rich person and ask them how they got rich. They're going to tell you exactly what they did. When people know something, they don't got no problem with sharing the info unless it's intimidating or it's going to take away from what it is that they have. That's the only time they don't share. So if we asking you questions, there's something that is reserving you. There's something that's holding you back. And for me, that's telling me from my expertise, from what I've seen, because I've done this many times. That's not my first time. This ain't my first rodeo figuring out if somebody has a religious mindset. It ain't hard. And sometimes you could have a religious mindset and not even know it. I had it. I came out of it. So I can easily recognize it. When I came out of Christianity and went to spirituality, I had religious residue.
Yeah,
I
that's
had to get rid of that.
part of what my channel is, going down to their level, being a teacher, like you said.
Yes, I had to go back to old friends, bro, and apologize. Like, yo, I had no idea. I'm a totally different person now. What Fifth was talking about as far as names and stuff like that, I just dropped a record yesterday, right? Actually, the record drops tomorrow. I dropped a video yesterday. And somebody hopped on there and was like,
video is fire, bro.
Somebody hopped on there and was like, this is Rennie Ruger mixed with Jamar, right? Now, to the lay, they don't know what the hell he's talking about. They probably Googling, who the hell is Rennie Ruger? My old name was Rennie Ruger. If you didn't know me from the streets and know what I was about, you wouldn't have put two and two together what I was doing on that record as a split personality. You understand? So when somebody says Rennie Ruger, it automatically tells me, or anybody who knows me, he know Jamar. For real, for real. He's a day one. See what I'm saying? He offered that information. Ain't nobody have to prompt him. He offered it. He knows who Jamar is. So when I'm talking to somebody, let's put it this way. When you learn these different words, a saw, a set, Heru, right? There's a certain respect factor that comes with that. There's a certain reverence when you say it because you realize what it is. It's the original word of what people consider a god. So you have a certain respect for it and you're going to use it in place of.
Not only that, but it's in your DNA. You could feel it.
Come on. If you understand what it really is. But.
And that's why I come from the barbarian side, man. I'm not, you know what I mean?
I know you understand Vikings, you understand Slavics, yes, right? See,
he's the first one I ever heard admit that.
But just watch. You see, he's nodding his head, yes, right? Because what he's talking tells me exactly what he knows because I've done the studying. I don't need somebody to give me more information about a person when I can hear what they're saying to me and the vibration that's coming. Just from what he's saying to me, I know he's comfortable in that space and having that conversation. It's not new to the boy. It's not new to the brother. You understand? So it's levels to everything. And we have to understand and respect people's expertise when they have something there. I know this only happens with people that look like me. I promise you that. If I was a white man in a suit, Thoth, if you came on here and put a suit on and was talking what you was talking, it would be a different conversation. I promise you that. It'll be a different conversation.
The way you talk to me, you mean?
All you got to do is put a suit on and talk the same thing that you was talking. This is only happening because it's me and I look like me. You understand that the more you are me and in different spaces, the more you.
Hey, yo, real talk. Hold up. You know what's funny? I did an experiment on what he's saying. I literally memorized something. Someone said, people told me I was lying. Then I screen shared the person saying the exact same thing.
Yes.
And then everybody's like, yo, he's right. He's right.
Yes.
I literally said the same exact word for word.
Yes.
Didn't change nothing. You know what I'm saying? So some people do believe in who's bringing them the information. Not all, but some people do.
It's funny because I got 2 suits in my closet right now.
Yeah. That's why I say source up so we can get rid of that. Because when you source up, it eliminates, I don't care what suit you're wearing. You're saying something wrong, bro. It's wrong. We learned that from Billy Carson. He got aired out. Why? Because he simply didn't have a source. Why should you aim with the source?
I was giving him shit too, dude, before all that.
I already knew he was trash. I already knew Billy Carson was trash because I've literally been to places that he's talking about. So I already knew that. But I can't jump against the machine. Nah, put him in a room with a scholar, with somebody who's sourced up, and watch what happens. Your whole career is down the drain, just like that. And overnight. Because you simply did not source. You don't understand the rules of the game.
Not only that, but if you saw what happened with the Doge and the cut, how come he's still getting money?
When you, it's just knowledge is infinite. We get it. Everybody doesn't know everything, right? I'm not claiming to know everything, but what you know, when you know something, you know something.
Right, with Billy Carson.
Yeah, when you know something, you know something, and that's just what it is. You can reference it, you know, and you can tell us where you got it from, where it comes from, and why nothing else can refute it because it's the original. You know, we're not playing with what, like when he start coming with the Osiris or he starts saying names other than the original. I already know where you at, bro.
Plus, he's not white, so like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you're not right. Period. We don't have to go back and forth. And guess what? I don't have to be nice to you. I don't have to. I don't have to appease to your feelings when you're wrong, simply because we want to be nice to everybody. This is not trying to get followers. This is not about trying to get subscribers. This is not about trying to get a flock. This is about just telling the truth, right? And we will attract people who are ready for true, right, and exact knowledge. It's not what I'm not trying to convince. I've never convinced anybody of anything. I've never, had made anybody convert. You understand?
So I don't think people remember when Jamar first came on the panel. Jamar was up here pumped up. I'm like, yo, bro, chill, man. Slow. Remember that day? And I didn't let nobody. What I did was I let everybody, I pulled everybody down, and me and him spoke. And I'm like, what? And he goes, yo, same. He gave me the same delivery. Yo, what's the name? And me, right? I didn't want to say Jehudi. I was like, I know I'm gonna say this shit wrong. I'm gonna just say dope. I'm gonna say it better. He said, see? And then when he said see, I laughed. He probably doesn't even remember. I laughed. I was like, fuck, he's about to hit me in the face with what I should have said.
No, yes, you got different DNA than him. So
no, and what was the result?
No. Look. But when we were speaking, he said the name that I should have said that I was going to say, but I'm like, I'm gonna say this shit wrong. So no, I'm gonna say a name that I can say it better, right? Nah, he said that's how I know, and
but
then we
like
kept
in
going.
Between our worlds is what I'm saying.
Yeah. So we just all we kept doing is kept information, kept talking. The more we communicated, the more we found out we have more in common than we did not. And that's what we just do, communicate. Sometimes the communication might be high. Where are my hands at? Sometimes it might be high, but after a little while, we're gonna know. Oh, okay. We knowledge. How Chris always iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
Once that respect level is there, it's okay. We're not going against each other. Now we're figuring out how we put this together. How we put it together. Boom, boom. Maybe my spot is over here. His spot is over here. That means there needs people to be in. There's people in between. They're providing their knowledge.
Now, what was the result of that? Now, watch this, right? From the jump, right? I didn't know you from a can of paint, right?
At all. Never seen you before.
The jump, from what you said, what did it trigger in me? And I told you, I said, it tells me that you don't know it all, and you're not trying to act like you do. That means I can build with you. Right? I can build with you because you're not going to pretend like you know more than what it is. I learned that within the first 5 seconds of talking to you. This is how you ended up where we are now. It would not have
the beginning.
Right.
It's crazy because you just answered my YouTube short earlier.
No, man.
Who's that? Jamar?
Yeah, it's like 5 seconds, dude. I said it's funny how people tell you you're exactly where you are, but then they want to hate on exactly where you are.
You can hear that bomb, right, Mark?
Yeah,
I hear that bomb.
Yeah, but it's crazy because I did it way earlier or today. It wasn't like I
heard it.
Planned this with you or anything like that.
Yo, this is how it be. Yo, earlier, right? Or not earlier, my bad. I'm all the way Puerto Rican. So I either over exaggerate or I underdo it. So you're either 3 hours late and it was 2 minutes, or you were like 5 hours early and it might have been 30 seconds. All right. So I pull up to Mark's shit. He only had a few people in the chat. Shit quiet. My ass assuming. I'm thinking he talking. I'm like, yo, there's no sound. And then he goes, what? No sound? It's like, oh, shit. My bad. Now I'm like, damn, I just disrupted this whole dude's content. Yo, what's going on? He's like, nah, I got this book. Nigga, read that shit. What the fuck? You just sitting here saying, nah, read that shit. Then he starts reading it. I'm like,
it's a certain special fish hook I've developed, and I'm not looking for any fish.
Okay.
I'm looking for certain fish to come jump on shit.
I got you. I told you, man. Everybody has different stuff to offer, and I get that. Jamar knows that, and we get it that everybody isn't gonna come to that realization, and the people that do, everybody isn't gonna come to that realization from the same journey.
But look,
Some people are gonna adapt, some people are gonna fight and be like, okay, this is it. Everybody's gonna come to a different ways.
right. But my fish hook caught you, and then you brought me in with your fish hook way earlier before all that. So it's just we're doing it to each other all the time. If you with the right people, that is.
Yeah, because all right, going back to what he said, right? Because I say this all the time. Exactly, the magnetism. So yeah, so check it out. Authentic, of course. So now check it out, because I said this before. This is how my first thought came, right? I said, well, damn, what were we calling source before the word God existed? Because now we know that certain letters have timestamps.
Right. That's right.
So what were we doing before these letters existed?
So I speak from a Kemetic standpoint, right? One of the earliest civilizations ever. And that word was Nkr or netter or netcher, right? And we understand the netchers, as I said earlier, to be principles of nature. They are not gods. That was a misnomer and misinterpretation by those who conquered Egypt. They created and gave you gods because they were white men trying to figure out how they were going to get black Africans to worship them. There was no separation of
actually goes, in my opinion.
Go ahead.
Just debate this for you. I think it was aliens that came along and we called them gods or angels.
Okay, so I'm going to correct you on that. Anytime they talk about aliens, these are black African people they don't want to give credit to what they contributed to.
I'm talking about I understand that point, but I'm talking about an actual scientific point of view of the universe is so big and you can't think that we're the only species in the universe.
Got you.
That's what I'm talking. I'm talking way past, like back to your original, what you were saying, the original language and everything, right?
Yes.
Were they not visited by other star beings?
No.
So weren't. Hold up.
Not once. Never, ever.
No, they weren't.
So I got a question for you. Don't say nothing, Jamar. Wait. Hold up. I got a question. So I'm saying I got a couple questions for you. You ever seen that map with the extra lands? Have you ever seen that where Atlantis and all that shit is? No, because one of them lands.
Are you all telling me you're flat Earth?
No, just listen to the question. Listen to what I'm trying to tell you. Just listen. One of them maps, right? One of them is called the second Earth, and the other one is called Earth of the Clones, right? Then they tell you that we live in a simulation, that this isn't our real bodies. These are all the same stories told from different perspectives. One person might tell you this, one person might tell you that. One person might tell you they rode a horse. One might tell you they was in a carriage. The one might tell you on a bike, a car, a spaceship. You get what I'm saying? It's almost like one story, but just different timelines in it. So if you only have a certain amount of knowledge, you're going to believe whatever the knowledge provides. Yeah, so if we have proof of a simulation, that means that this ain't us. What we see ain't real, right?
Okay, so you're going from the perspective that we live in a computer matrix or something?
I don't fucking know. It's what I'm telling you. I don't know. That's what I'm telling you.
What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts about multi-dimensions?
I want to hear what Jamar says. Do you think you live in a computer simulation matrix or something?
No, we created the computer. How could we live in a computer?
So, if you created the computer, how explain?
And we're playing in it right now. This is our character.
No, I get you. But what I'm saying is, if we're not in it, you're just in the body. Is what you're saying?
So the way I know it is, for what I believe it to be, no one could ever really actually prove this just yet.
So then you can't say I'm wrong either.
No, I couldn't say you're wrong. Absolutely not.
Oh no, we're not saying nobody's wrong. We're just all giving our perspectives, trying to figure it out equally. We're all, and we don't discard nobody. We're not putting nobody down.
Because in 20 years, if I'm proven right, what then? No, I'm just kidding.
Right. I'll be 60 and I'll be looking for your ass like, yo, bro.
We're hanging out by then, promise.
We gonna hit him with the Jamar, like.
I don't think it's a simulation in the way like what people think, meaning it's already constructed and played out for us. I do believe that we live in a system. I do believe that that the mind is different from the brain. I do believe that our thoughts and the things that we get, we attract, and we're all entitled to that information. We're all entitled to that pool of energy. If you don't capitalize on your thought, someone else will have the same exact thought and they may capitalize on it, but we all have access to that thought. So science teaches us that there is a higher level of what we call consciousness. And we tap into that consciousness, and consciousness is conscious of itself.
Yeah, that's how we invent and whatnot.
Yeah. So I believe that to be true. I don't believe that there's a puppet master orchestrating everything. I believe that we have come from somewhere other than here.
No, we're all pulling on the string when the string can only, it's like,
yeah, it can only do but so much, but we're all a part of that situation and we all have a piece to it. We're all pieces to that puzzle, pieces to that pie.
And pulling out it, getting what we can out of it.
Yes. And if we wanted to define a higher existence or a God, it's the collective of human beings together.
Right. So in my perspective, that's like the Holy Spirit. If one were to like tie it together somehow in a knot, and then the God would be like the rubber band we're pulling on.
That's so yeah, you could say that if we wanted to take the religious route. For me, the Holy Spirit is.
It's not a religious route. It's like connecting to the people down below.
Got you. Yeah. Yeah, you could say that. You could tie that into that. Depending upon your understanding of the Holy Spirit, because people describe the Holy Spirit in many
right. No, I'm doing work on my channel. That's why I'm telling you.
Got you.
Yeah. Remember, I'm teaching too.
Oh, so maybe we could go on his live one day on his channel and put content about this type of topic on his channel, maybe if he invites us.
Because from my walk of life,
sure I would invite.
The Holy Spirit is simply the woman and her intuition. That's what the Holy Spirit is. That's why you have Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. You have to have a woman or feminine energy in there in order to create life. So that's what the Holy Spirit is, the energy of the female. So when they say, let us make man in our image.
That also makes sense with the father and son and then their mom. Yeah, that makes sense.
So not the disrespect.
That's Asar, Aset, and Heru.
Well, that's what I was trying to get at with our words, and we're like, you're not saying it right. No, we are saying the same thing. We just got to.
It comes from that. It literally comes from that. Like I can show you on the walls of Kemet where it comes from.
Right. Just because I spoke a different language and said it a different way doesn't mean I'm wrong.
Right. Right. So that's and see what I mean by meeting people where they're at. That's why before I answered, I wanted to make sure you understood my premise of it before I even say it, so we don't get the wrong context.
Absolutely. If I'm not trying to reach you, then I'm failing. Man.
Yeah, come on.
That's why I say communication, because when we were young, Jamar, because I don't know how old Mark is, but when we were young, we would come to these type of relationships and friendships in a different form. We would have these type of conversations, maybe a lot more calmer and chill, and it would draw that attention. Well, in 2024, that shit don't work. That shit is, we're not going to reach the people that we need. The people that need the message, that isn't going to grab their attention.
All of us are 40. Yeah. Right? I'm 41. Yeah. Well, we're all, I think you guys.
No, him. He's young.
Yeah, he's not the Pluto Libra generation.
That's the bro. That's the little bro right here. I know him in real life. That's my
what
little
I'm
bro.
saying is we are Pluto Libra generation. We're Libra's balanced. Pluto Libra generation. We could do that. They can't. They're Pluto Scorpio. They're Pluto Capricorn. They ain't doing it like that.
I would be considered constellation.
I don't know what I am.
Yeah, I don't know about them.
I'm an anomaly.
Oh, well, they tell you you're like Generation X or Z or whatever, all that bullshit.
Yeah, I was born 1980, but don't put me in no box. Remember I told you about that box shit?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to go to your natal chart and see where you were actually, like, what your sign was. What actual generation you were born in was according to. I mean, this is how I think though. Pluto.
Yeah, I got you.
Because Pluto lasts like the most, like 20 years to 40 years, depending on where.
Mm-hmm. So I tell people this is Jamar says the same. My bad. Go ahead. I'm gonna let him go. I'm gonna go back.
With the zodiac signs, right? What I don't get is if they were supposed to, if the calendar was created, you know what I'm saying, man-made, and it's supposed to be 13 months that they say. I don't know if that's correct or not. I've done research and that's what they state. So if that's true, where does the zodiac signs like? Like how true is that to the
Okay, the
months?
13th sign, if you want to get into that deep.
So I actually screen shared that yesterday, all 13 signs and how it became to 12. It showed
I
them
have
all, how
another.
it all
Like
started,
I've
how
done
they how it
research.
the signs are mirrored. I showed the whole video of it. He broke it down. Then he broke down the calendar. Then he broke down the placements in the calendar. Then he said why they took it out. The dudes broke it. It's all on night. Well, I got the
So
video from IG, but I screen shared all of it.
yeah, I've done some research, right? And the reason why I asked that is because I've seen like a whole nother theory where it's like the reason why they made it 12 is because the number 12, if you look at it, a lot of things run on that number 12. So they had to kind of make it fit into the whole like system that they was pushing.
Well, plus 1 plus 2 is 3, so it's the Trinity. But the 13th sign, if the way I figured it out in my mind is that there's it's like God and or like this the string we're pulling on, right? Remember going back to the rubber band, the super string theory. So like God and us are touching fingers, right? Or like pulling on that string. And so the 13th sign is like the finger that comes down and lives life, gives you the breath. So it's the Fiacus. It only lasts, or no, it's Scorpio actually. Scorpio only lasts about 7 days. And if you look actually at the how long the sun and everything, how long we're in Scorpio, it's only like 7 days, something like that. And then we go to Ophiuchus for like 20 days. And Ophiuchus is the man with the snake and the scorpion. And what that represents is us on Earth dealing with nature. So what we're doing here is we have like the Jewish people. They have that little, what do you play at, that little spinner thing? What's that game?
Dreidel.
The dreidel. Thank you. The dreidel. When the dreidel represents this essentially, if you know what I'm talking about. So God plays the dreidel and it spins, and then you land. Boom! Your body is boom astrology.
I'm glad the
So
bro.
like when you come in and incarnate or like into your body, you spin the dreidel to see where you land and what time you get to born or what body you get to have.
Copy.
And it also has to do with your soul progression.
So it's not that far fetched from like the research that I was doing. Cause you know when you get into that, you could go into a rabbit hole completely the wrong way. And what I learned is no shots at anybody, but from zodiac signs, I mainly hear from females, and a lot of females just go off of what they hear, and what they hear all the time isn't true. So
Right.
if that's the only resources that you get, you know what I'm saying, you only but to lead to the wrong information, or at least it makes it difficult to find the right resource that's that's actually fact. So with my research, at least, I just wanted to make sure that, you know, I still don't know if I'm going the right way or the wrong way, but at least it's common to other people as it is to me from the research I've done, if that
Well,
makes sense.
if you look at history too, it's like how did they know when certain children were going to be born and watch out, King, this child's going to overthrow you? How did they know that stuff?
All I
Astrology.
know is there's only one way, there's only one time you're gonna figure it all out, right? And that's the day that you figure it out.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's a whole
So
fact.
like
I'm glad that Dolph had mentioned that. I wasn't even respecting that. Like, dude is super smart. Most people don't talk about Ophiuchus at all. I did a reel on this. I did a AI reel on this a while back about Ophiuchus, and it's one of the largest constellations in the sky. However, it is not included in the zodiac. And if it was included in the zodiac, whatever constellation that they claim that you are, if you claim that you're a Capricorn, Cancer, whatever it is, you're
Throws it
probably
all
not
off.
that if we include Ophiuchus. It throws everything off. And it was never included in the 12 signs of the zodiac. How do I know? The brother asked, he said, why did we change it from 13 to 12? No, it always was 12. And I'm going to show that to you because the ancient Kemites is the ones that invented the zodiac. You can go and
the who, I'm sorry, repeat that. The who
the ancient
invented it?
With the original people of humanity, just leave
Kemetic.
it at
Yeah, the ancient Kemet. Yeah, the Kemet.
I
No,
keep
yeah,
this here. We're gonna source up again. I keep this right here. This is literally a rug slash little throw rug that I have on my table here that I keep everything on. And this is the Dendera wheel. This is where the zodiac came from. And as you can see, the 12 different Herus going around here, the 12 different deities or principles of nature, there's 12 in the circle right here. It always was 12. This is the first one right here. And this artifact is held in the Met Museum as well as the Brooklyn Museum, and I believe also the Louvre.
So
okay? If you
isn't
want
that my fault to interrupt? I just had a question about that.
yeah.
Isn't that what they say the Last Supper picture references?
Before you answer, let's go back to real quick. You said there's only 12, but the Scorpio is death, and death they didn't consider a part of the 12 signs.
That's a fact. You can say that. You can say that according to the civilization that you were dealing with, because the Scorpio was in the original constellations right here.
That looked like Cat Williams' medallion too. That same shape, bro.
Cat Williams medallion.
You know the shit he had on Shannon Sharp. They said that medallion he had, that's a symbol for, like, it looked just like that. That same shape.
Think so? I thought it was something.
Oh, and fifth, I also did a video on Ophiuchus about maybe 5 years ago. But yeah,
so it might not look like it, bro, but I actually like geeking and nerding out, and so does Jamar. But people might not notice it. He do, because remember, you got to geek out to gain this knowledge. That's what us street people call it, like geeking and nerding out. And when I do that, as kids, people don't like that shit. Well, they don't like it coming from a person like me.
Cause it just seemed, and that's the stigma.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what people gotta get out of. Like they can't just look at you. You know what I'm saying? Like when I met you, you had the gold teeth, you was shining, you was chilling. You know what I'm saying? People don't expect the knowledge to come from you. You know what I'm saying? Especially not knowledge that you willing to learn too. Yeah. Usually people come strong, and you came strong as like learning. So,
I want to rehash what Jamar said earlier when we were having that debate about aliens. Well, my final point is to say, why couldn't have what we did happen somewhere else at the same time, exact same time?
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that.
So maybe they look like us and we just got confused or something.
What I got a whole bunch of theories, bro. Go ahead, my background.
Hold on, I'm gonna share
because if every star's a sun, then maybe all them stars we see out there, maybe they all got Earths, and maybe we always been looking at a multiverse the whole time.
So,
all right,
or maybe it's the stars that supposed hell they put the angels in,
and then there could be that too. See, that looks just like Cat Williams' medallion, bro. The same shape, but not the intricate details of the arms, but the circle with the same shape, bro.
So what I want to point out here is, if you notice, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You see that? That's holding up this earth right here. There's 12 deities surrounding this. This represents the 12 signs, the 12 suns in their constellations. Okay. And they all have different attributes to them depending upon what constellation that they're in. And then when we go further in, this is the original zodiac. This is the first time somebody has ever put shapes and characters to the stars. Okay.
Yeah, where the Greeks got their
Scorpio right here. See the scorpion? Right here.
It's only like a week, 8-9 days, something like that.
It's always been there. You can see all of them in here. Here's a Taurus, right? See them all in here. You just got to look in. And all these different signs are written in the Medunetta for the different zodiac. Here's Pisces. You see the fish? Yeah. See? Some of them weren't even what we call them today. They were different signs. But they changed them over time to, to
Sagittarius is right there.
It's all there.
Yeah. I see Capricorn, Virgo.
This is where it comes from. So now when people start talking astrology, especially when I got into, I won't say it was an argument. I just pretty much stared at her. I was meeting somebody.
Jamar, you see that?
What's that?
You see my book here?
Oh, let me astronomical calendar. Yes. Not astrological calendar, astronomical calendar. There's a difference. Some people don't even know the difference between astronomy and astrology. There's a difference.
Break that down for the ones that don't know.
One is the study of the stars. The other one is how people relate to one another in accordance to the stars. And it really is no relation to the stars and how people respond. They want to pretend like that is, but we're not in those times anymore. This was created, these constellations, just so you know why it was created, why they put, animals up there and stuff like that, is because they were agriculturalists, first and foremost. So these are people who, they wasn't working like 9 to 5s like you guys, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. They were agriculturists. They tended to sheep and herds and things of that nature, and they also planted crops and things. They lived off of that. So it was very, very important to their everyday life, when to plant, when to reap, and when to sow. Okay. So when you see them creating stories about the constellations, it's simply so that they can keep track of the seasons. That's it. That's the only reason why it was created. But now, if you want to reverse engineer it even more and you tie it into culture, people will move around based upon the stars and what they're doing in that season. If your herd has to leave from where you are normally located, now you can say, well, during this constellation, during this season, you will have a drought during this season. You see?
And wouldn't sometimes they use the animals as like signs?
What's this? Hold up a second. What we looking at though?
Yes, if an animal returns back to its original resting place, it'll be during a certain season when it's time.
Look at the screen, Jamar. He's trying to show you something.
What's that?
Okay, you see this dotted blue line?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's us going through the signs. So you see Scorpius right here? Look at that. Only this tiny little section.
Small.
That's it. Look at Libra.
It's quick.
It's small.
Small.
Yes.
Look at Virgo. Boom.
Does it have Ophiuchus on there?
It's the market. That's what Virgo represents, the market.
Does it have Ophiuchus on there?
No. Over here, you have to go to this section right here. Look. Right here. Ophiuchus goes here. They don't put it, but it goes right here.
Yeah.
Right above Scorpius.
Yeah.
Because remember, his foot is by Scorpius. And the snake's up here. And he's grabbing the snake, Ophiuchus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scorpius. Yeah. And then Sag. Yep. So it goes to Ophiuchus right there. Boom, line.
So understanding how important that was to the people during that time is also how they navigated the seas, family. They didn't have GPS. They star mapped. They utilized the stars to figure out which direction they were going in. I know they told you that Christopher Columbus was lost, but the ancient Kemites weren't. They were traveling back and forth to the Americas regularly. We have the glyphs to prove it. We can show you what they were bringing back and forth. Tobacco and all that type of stuff. Tobacco was not native to Egypt, but it's found with the royal Nasut, or what we call the pharaohs, because they were transporting it in and out regularly and using star maps and what they knew about the stars to do it. Okay? So when we're dealing with the zodiac, a lot of the origins come out of the same place. I know it sounds like a lot when people say, oh, you think everything comes out? Well, most of it did. Even Washington, D.C. was built after Egypt. Literally, Benjamin Banneker put the first cornerstone down, and he created it and formatted Washington, D.C. just like Egypt. So when people say Egypt is in the Americas, to an extent, they're kind of right, because it was built foundationally on Egypt. Everything about it. That's why it's on your dollar bill. That's why you see it. And to be more accurate with that, just to be more clear, those pyramids on there are not actually from Egypt. They're from Kush, the ones that are on your dollar bill. Those aren't Egyptian pyramids. Those are the ones from Kush, Nubia. Okay? But the Nubians are the ones who built the pyramids. Those are my ancestors, the people of Aswan. They live there now.
Yeah, just showing out now.
Yeah. So, as you can see, family, like there's so much to learn about this. Oh, now you're going real deep. We're not even going there today. There's so much to learn.
Hey, yo, Toph, that's for you, my guy. That's for you, my guy.
I love that.
He's playing with heavy magic now. What is it? You guys, you're working 9 to 5?
We on that King Wizard.
Oh, I don't work a 9 to 5.
Hey, so I got a question for y'all, right?
Like it.
This is something that I heard, and it was like weird. There's no how can I say facts to it. I just thought it was a weird theory, right? Because it had aliens and the multiverse into the theory. It was basically like they were saying, what if the aliens that we say we see is just the people that come through the multiverse?
Yeah.
So like that's why there's doppelgangers. That's why there's like deja vu. But there's other explanations for deja vu. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of like a lot of holes into the theory, but it was kind of just like a fun theory to just
Or here's
think
another
about.
theory for you, Jamar. What if we made the aliens with our consciousness?
Well, we did.
Well, then
We literally did.
you can't say they don't exist because we made them.
What if we are the aliens?
That's what I'm saying.
Let's put it this way: we created the concept of aliens, but it doesn't mean that the aliens.
Well, they call them angels or whatever, deities.
Angles. Some people will take that to the next step further and say, no, it's angles of light versus angels, right? Because we're talking about Lucifer being the light bearer. So we're talking about light. This is a science here, right? It's literally telling you what it's about. It's about light, right? So if you wanted to learn about how light moves, responds, and reacts to different things, then you're going to read the things that deal with that. Lucifer.
That's why
about light.
That theory, the light theory, is why some people say like the human body itself, like the vessels we in, is aliens, because our essence, our soul, is what connects best to the light.
So this is what I say, right? When we deal with aliens, first question is, how did they get here? Right? That's number one. They say aliens have advanced technology, right? Can we all agree that that's what they say?
Yeah.
So my question,
yes, that's what they say.
Yeah. So the first resort that they say, as a collective, they say that aliens flew here on ships from outer space, and these beings with advanced technology, we have been able to see them.
Well, there's ancestry documentation of this too, like natives and everybody. So
who are you about to mention? Don't say the doggone, please.
I didn't mention that. No, I'm just saying there are documented ancestral things of this, right?
Who?
On the caves and whatnot, or
of aliens?
Of the stone and stuff.
No.
If you come down here in Arizona and New Mexico, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Some people have incorporated what they see as far as and I know what you mean, but the bug eyes, they look like they got alien eyes and stuff like that, and the big heads.
Well, there's a lot more than that, but yeah, I get you. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's two sides to this coin. One is when they were teaching about conception, they were literally creating what looks like aliens, but it was a fetus. And people have wrongfully interpreted that as being an alien.
I got scientists, connect friends and stuff from nearby that look at this, and they're talking like plasma, solar mass, huge things that have caused, Grand Canyon, all kinds of devastation on the earth, and they draw these things up on the cave paintings and stuff. So, I mean, are they like just making up everything, or like where's
there's a cutoff point as to when you start dealing with this, because obviously human beings are already here, right? And they're talking about aliens who supposedly was the ones who created human beings, but the human beings are already here.
Well, so I don't know if they were already here because dinosaurs were here first.
No, I don't believe in dinosaurs. But in any case, human beings, right? The story of the creation of human beings was that aliens came down here, what they call fallen angels or whatever you want to call them. And then they're the ones who procreated and created human beings. They procreated with beings that were already here that weren't human. And that's how human beings were created. And they put the pineal gland in us. They say the aliens did that.
See, my thing is what if you're right, but we were on another planet and we were brought here?
So now, I like to play with that, right? But I don't see other planets as being up there. I see other planets as being over there. They call them extraterrestrials, not aliens.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I said it wrong.
Right?
I'm with you.
What? Oh, you almost made fun of me asking me if I believe this side, and he says the same shit in different word. Copy.
The words matter. This is why when he was talking about God, no, the words matter because alien takes you down a different path. Little green man.
No, you good. Because you said the same thing I said, and he agreed with you and disagreed with.
We're just doing what we was talking about earlier about, yes, the words do matter, and it tells you people where they're at. Because if he used extraterrestrial, I already know what he's on. I know that he's probably flat Earth too, right? He's already other lands because now we're talking extra terra, right?
Yep.
Instead of using the word alien.
I've been there, done that. Got right? The shirt.
Come on, see? So stop playing. So how you speaking?
Where my bombs at, bro?
Come on, man.
We said where my bombs at?
We proving it. So, you know, the extraterrestrial.
Well, that's the whole Garden of Eden
bombs
thing.
in the chat.
That's the whole Garden of Eden when we were actually at a harmonic planet where we didn't do this stupid shit we're doing.
That's right. That's right. So
yeah, because in these times people say dinosaur, right? People don't even get that word dinosaur that's a more recent thing. Yeah. That word ain't that old. That word was replaced. The actual word, if you're looking in the Bible, the actual word was like dragon, I believe. It was more like a dragon thing. It wasn't dinosaur because that word dinosaur came way later.
I just want people who talk about dinosaur and believe in them. I want you to show me how 2 Tyrannosaurus Rexes mate. That's all I want to know.
Yo, I never thought about how dinosaurs mate. I never thought about that.
Tell me how 2 Tyrannosaurus Rexes mate. Would they lay on their side? Well,
they're like birds. They rub their little holes together.
I wanted you to say that. Oh my goodness.
Yo.
So if you ever notice, a Tyrannosaurus Rex has the little arms. Those are wings. You didn't notice that
it's a dragon.
It's a wing. Those aren't arms. Those are wings. They literally took the large birds that we used to have and gave you a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Do you understand? They invented this. Those are wings. Take a skeleton of a bird and put it right next to a skeleton of a Tyrannosaurus Rex and tell me what she looks like.
Right. And here's another thing to tie all of it together. They called us dragon slayers and whatnot. And then all of a sudden there was giant slayers. What are these giant slayers about?
Nephilim. So I believe in Nephilim. I believe the Nephilim were real. This is what the historical record does say. I won't say the historical record. I will say definitely the Bible says it. And some of the artifacts that we found show us that beings were larger than where we are now. We can even see some of this even evident today of large beings. I mean, look at Wemby, right? Wembyama. We see people that are very, very large. Somalians are very, very large genetically. Why? Because they live in the grasslands, right? So genetically, they evolved to larger beings. If you were living in the jungle, you would be a Twa. You would be very, very small. The Twa was very small.
This is perfect because this ties into my expanding Earth theory, how the planet had different density.
Yes. So I believe that.
I believe that too. Yep.
100%.
I believe we have more oxygen, all that.
And why? Do you know why?
It's a mixture of things, in my perspective.
You talking to me or him?
I think it's a mixture.
Either one of you. Why is it less dense?
Why is what?
I'm gonna say you're gonna answer that.
I just want to see what I'm inquisitive. I want to see what he knows.
What's your question? Say it again.
So what's the density different?
Why the oxygen change? Yeah, the density different.
Why do you think oxygen changed?
Because this is an experimental planet, and they've been fucking with it for a long time. Whether it's wiping dinosaurs out with a meteorite or whatever, having wars and blowing up planets, and we get more dust and all kinds of stuff coming at us, and it just adds up over time.
Awesome. Are you familiar with Asherah poles?
No, sir, I'm not.
All right. So there are ancient texts that talk about the Nephilim and when they were roaming the earth and how there were humans on the earth at the same time. And it says God commanded human beings to destroy the Nephilim, essentially. And the way to do this was to cut down their Asherah poles. The Asherah poles are these large trees that look like today mountains, but they're really stubs of trees that used to extend into the heavens.
Yeah, I believe that.
More oxygen.
I've seen it. I've seen what you're talking about. Yeah,
Yes. They gave us.
If you didn't say that, I was gonna start screen sharing videos on that on YouTube. How they got it when you look at these mountains and you petrify that wood, they say it's almost identical, especially when you start tripping into the shit. I just didn't know that that's what it's called, but I knew exactly what you were talking about.
They even have rings.
Yes, I have glyphs. I have glyphs of not only.
Hold up, Jamar. What happened, Chris?
I said, pull up a picture for the chat.
Damn, you're gonna make me pull it up. I have glyphs.
Source up, bro. You ain't gonna be over here just saying nothing, and you ain't gonna have the sources to be saying, bro. Now the rules over here is, yeah, my bro spun the block and put a new rule on the channel, so you ain't just gonna be saying shit, and you got to source up. He actually said it to me, and I'm the one that owns the channel.
All right. So I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you if
I can
one, two. I'm gonna show the second one, but let me show you this one. This is a glyph of the natives killing the Nephilim.
You know that there's a whole city that's like in the shape of a giant? You don't know that? Yeah, I remember this picture.
Okay. I have another one with them.
See that, Oaf?
I have another one with them harvesting the body parts and the sperm of the Nephilim. Okay.
Yeah, I believe all this. Yeah.
So these are ancient glyphs from right here in the Americas. Okay. And the Nephilim were known to be here. And this is why you see the burial mounds are here for the Nephilim. They're the ones who inhabited the Americas.
Yeah, like the Snake Mountain and all that. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So
spirals. And
it's my contention to say the reason why, if we did have dinosaurs or larger beings, larger human beings, larger animals, whatever it was, or even the woolly mammoths and things of that nature, the reason why they're no longer around is because the oxygen levels are too low. We cut down the Asherah poles, so they could not evolve and stay in this environment. They wouldn't be able to survive. Somebody just stew you out too high into the atmosphere and it's less oxygen, you're gonna die. So they knew this. Whoever knew, somebody told human beings that was the way to kill off the Nephilim, and they figured it out, and that's what they did. And we also got rid of some large animals too that were predators to us.
Mm-hmm. So we became the dominant species.
Correct. I don't think that we came from an outer space and just crash landed here. It's my contention to say that it's more likely that we came from inside of the earth.
Oh.
Inside.
See, my contention with the inside of the earth is it's a Dyson sphere.
I'll extrapolate on that.
You know what Dyson sphere is, right?
No.
It's where they put.
I know what that is.
It's where they use technology and harness the power of the sun. They surround the sun with like mirrors or whatever.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that's called. Okay.
Did you ever hear any history about there was two stars back in the Dogon and all that?
Yeah, the Sirius A, Sirius B
in our solar system at one time.
Yes.
So one of them was the white little tiny dwarf star, and it's our Earth's core.
Dog star.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's our Earth's core. That's what keeps it going. So that's what I'm telling you. This is experimental planet. We were brought here. We were hijacked. We were not supposed to be here.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think that we would have been too fearful coming here to just be outside. Right? You first come here, you're going to find a place to burrow. Just think about it. Right? There's all sorts of Nephilim running around, animals you never seen before. You're not outside, bro. You're not just going to sit under a tent.
No, you can see this in nature when like a group of dogs chase a cat. The cat's going to go somewhere where it's small and tiny and hide where the dogs can't get them.
Burrow. Right? Natural instinct of human beings. And when you go over into Kemet, what were they doing? All of those monuments, all of those pyramids, there are underground tunnels everywhere. Little cities underground. The Caucasus Mountains, even the white folks was in the tunnels, in the ground. What? They wasn't just sitting outside the mountain. No. So it's my contention to say human beings came from inside the earth. We might have been down there for thousands of years before we came about. Thousands. I mean, tens of thousands to maybe even hundreds of thousands of years before we figured out what was good for us on land and what wasn't.
Plus, there's native talk with the cave scriptures and stuff. They talk about a time when you could stick a stick out the cave and get fire.
Yes. Atmosphere was different.
Yeah, I actually seen a video where the dude had it's the opposite of what you're saying though. The dude had like a stick on fire, and they go, "This is why you should have just walked into caves."
Oh, I
He
saw
put
that.
the stick off, yeah, and the fire went out, type
Yeah.
shit. Like there's no oxygen or what? What was it?
There's a gas. There's gases that come out of certain stones within these caves. It's actually carbon monoxide, I believe it was, and it puts out the fire.
Yeah, and that's why they needed the fire, so they knew where they could travel to in the mountains.
That's right.
Mm.
You see, so when you see when you get the truth, nobody's lying. Everybody's experience seems to line up, right? It's no like, but what about no? It all begins to make sense depending upon where you are and your perspective and what you went through. Because truth doesn't care about all the facts. All the facts have to care about the truth. It has to line up with the truth. There's only one truth. There could be a million facts, though. You understand?
You know, maybe the barbarians were by here. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
I see the
What I
chat.
do know is that a whole bunch of in the earth, a whole bunch of information that a lot of us are looking for, that a lot of our maybe our DNA, whatever you want to call it, is asking for, your Akashic records, whatever you want to say, right? It just seems like the one thing a lot of us haven't, or all of us have in common that are not in that at that elite level, is that we want more information of where we come from, how we began, the source, what is the truth, like what now. When people say, why do you want to know that? Why you're important? That answer may differ for some people. You know what I'm saying? Some people might need that comfort of whatever. I don't know what to tell you, but everybody needs what they need. Like I like to adhere to what I call the God and or goddess in you. That's what I like to. I like to adhere in the creator in me. I'm not a victim of my reality. You get what I'm saying? That's a whole nother topic. But it's like what I do see is that a lot of us or all of us have all been subjected to the misleading of a certain system to make sure we get to this type of situation. But a lot of us, they want us to be arguing and bickering so we can't gain any knowledge and we can't learn anything.
I call those people pro-segregation or segregationists. They want everybody segregated.
That's the 10%.
Yeah, separation, correct?
That's the 10%.
Segregation.
That's the 10%.
That's the 10%. You know how you said, you have 5%ers, right?
The 85, the 10%, and the 5.
That's right. That's the 10. The 10% is designed
mislead.
No, so they're engineered, they're agents without knowing it. They don't want you to learn and want you to elevate. That's what they're here to do, to prevent the other 85%.
Right.
Man, fuck them.
And that's why
man, bro, give me a better word, bro. We trying to damn monetize, bro. Damn, everybody's gangbanging on my channel, bro.
Nah, you wanna know why? Cause you were talking about passionate. Feel me? I don't mess with people who like know. I don't mess with people who like know the information and could like give it accurately and choose not to. And then I guess talk about like why isn't people spreading good information? You know what I'm saying? It just don't make sense. They just putting you through a mind loop. They playing a mental warfare, thinking that they smarter than everybody. And it's just...
Here's one thing though, as a teacher, you have to see what they truly desire within the heart, and if they truly desire that, then you kind of have to just like, all right, go, bye. Oh.
Yeah, they call it pick up your scrolls and walk. Don't cast your pearls to swine. They ain't listening, they ain't getting it. You just keep it pushing. That's it. You know what I mean?
What we looking at, bro?
All right, so are you familiar with this stuff?
Facts, no gatekeeper.
Yes. That goes back to the expanding Earth theory video I did.
This is where I believe that human beings came from. I believe we came from somewhere dead center and where this rock is at for some reason, or either somewhere in this direction. And the reason why I say this is because it ties in people who say that they are not African. They've always been in the Americas. It also ties in people who are Asian. It also ties in every culture.
It ties into the Dakotas saying they came from Atlantis.
Yes. When I look at this, I say nobody's lying here. What you guys are looking at, if you don't know, this is an ancient map. I won't say ancient. This is an old map of Antarctica made by Gerardo Mercatus or Gerardo Mercado, whatever his name. You're gonna look it up. In any case, he's one of the most famous cartographers ever. He's the one that gave us longitude and latitude. He's responsible for that. So he's well respected. But the thing that I want to point out here is on this particular map, you can see every continent, major continent in the world, all the early inhabitants of people. So if you look at the top left, these are the Americas here. If you look here down below here you have Europe, and to the bottom right here, you have Africa. And then if you look to the top right, you have Asia. And all of these, as you can see, continents are very, very close to one another. You can see how close they were just a couple hundred years ago, right? Now, the thing that I like to point out is when Gerardo Mercado did this, he found first and foremost Pygmy Island right here. He said there were inhabitants living on this particular island, and they were all female, with the exception of maybe 2 men, and they were little people. The ancient Kemetic people talk about them.
Oh shit! This goes back to Lord of the Rings now.
Yes, that's where they got the concept. These original people are the people that they call the Twa in ancient Egypt. And these people were important. These were the smartest people that they said that walked the land and the most knowledgeable of the land. And they were little people. Why? Because they were the first ones to inhabit the whole world. They started going through the jungles. They were little, right? So this is before we have Somalians and everybody's genetically getting taller, right? They were the first ones to inhabit all of the lands.
The hobbits and dwarves.
Yes. The hobbits and dwarves were the first. You could not have a court without having a member of the Twa in the court. I learned this last year when I went to Egypt. We went to the temple of we went to Ipit Asut. Okay.
Yeah, this rings bells if you go watch the series of the show on Amazon, the Lord of the Rings show.
Yeah, you will see a lot of our history hidden in sci-fi. And the reason why they put it there, why they call it science fiction, why would you have to say something is fiction? Why would you do that? No other genre does that. Only the one that gives out the truth.
Yeah.
And then they tell you truth is stranger than fiction.
Yeah. Just like if anybody remembers and I keep saying this shit, but I don't think people comprehend how hard this movie hit. The movie with Enemy of the State with Gene Hackman and Will Smith, bro. That movie's under sci-fi because back then them cameras didn't exist everywhere. Today, that movie's real life. That's a prediction of the future, bro.
Come on, man.
Or it was them telling you what they were planning.
Yeah, because remember, we didn't have GPS. Cameras wasn't on cell phones, ATMs, red lights. Today, everything in that movie today is fact. And that when the movie was created, it didn't exist.
You know why? Because there's a universal law. You want to manifest and get away with shit. You got to be honest in some aspect.
Mm-hmm. And I am Mr. Amelie in the chat. We will have 1 million people in this chat very soon. Trust me that.
Now watch this.
Hold on before you go. Y'all heard that, Short Kings? They were short people ruling the world.
Yeah, that's the Twa. That's the Twa. Khoisan, look them up. The Khoisan, the Twa people, and they still exist today.
It's funny because French, Napoleon.
They were known to be able to do it's called the dance of the gods. They were the only ones that could do it, or the dance of the deities, whatever you want to call it, the dance of the divine, the dance of the netter.
Isn't that where a lot of folklore came from?
What's that?
Isn't that where a lot of folklore originated from?
Yeah, they had a lot of stories back then. But at the end of the day, they're the ones who created pretty much all of the things that we know about the stars, everything that we know about agriculture. Like I said, they were in the court system. They gave us the jury, the 12 in the jury. This is all the Twa. Okay, now. The reason why this map is important because it also shows terrain like mountainous regions. Why are the mountainous regions important? Well, if you came from out of the center of the earth here, right, or anywhere else, they might say, I believe they came out of here somewhere in Earth. We say that.
Dude, what if that's Antarctica?
It is Antarctica. This is Antarctica. This is Antarctica.
It's crazy because I've seen them show videos of them driving into the ice, the boat.
This is also where the emblem of the swastika comes from. Okay? So when people start selling you on that swastika nonsense, I'm going to tell you exactly where it comes from. If you look at this map, you will see that there are 4 rivers here. and the 4 rivers are treacherous rivers, as told by the ancients. And the swastika was a symbol that was used all around the world. It wasn't a German symbol. It wasn't a Nazi symbol. It was a symbol that everyone used, including people from Israel. Okay? Because that symbol was a symbol of where human beings collectively united. It united us.
You can see it in cave paintings down here.
Yes. Right? So that solidifies how important this space is to human civilization. Right? We can say that that's an important thing.
That's like the center of knowledge.
Yes, it's the center of something connecting human beings. It's the center. So now when we look further into this, you see the mountainous regions. When I was talking about geography, if we came from the center of the earth, there's only from the center of this rock or Rupus Negra, there's only a couple of places where we would initially go as the Twa first, because the rivers are so treacherous that we have to follow them, right? Wherever they're going. We're not going to go against the grain. So we're going to go where the rivers are taking us. And the rivers are taking us where? Follow the lines. One goes to the Americas. One river goes to Asia. One goes down to Europe and Africa. Look at where the rivers go. And the reason why we know we took the rivers is because everything else is surrounded by mountainous areas. So they wouldn't have climbed a mountain when you could just take the river. And you see it? You see the mountainous areas everywhere surrounding the islands. So if they're going to come out of here, they're going to take the rivers and go to the existing islands and continents right there. And this ties into everyone's historical story and account.
Yeah. Jamal, hold on. There's a comment in the chat that said you showed this years ago. You know what I'm saying? So that just goes against your point before. If it's true, it's true. It's relevant no matter what, because the truth is relevant no matter what generation it is. I just want to point that out.
At least 10 years ago. At least 10 years ago, I was on this and doing videos on this. And it still stands to this. So this is why you can stand firm on what it is that you've done, because of the time that you put into it. Whatever.
Pretty much connecting to you is what I'm doing when I'm not. I'm like, what the hell? Where does this come from?
This should help connect a whole lot of dots and things that you knew in terms of history and how they align with one another and why people are not lying about their experience. That's why I can look at somebody and be like, yeah, well, I'm not from the Americas. You might not be. You might have been one of the ones that came in on the boat and went straight to Europe. You might be what they call from the Levant. You might be from Asia directly and have no African ties. Who knows?
Or you might be from 4 of them mixed together.
You could be a bunch of them mixed together because they was trading in commerce and all through the area before they started spreading out, right? It just didn't happen. Everybody's going in and ain't never coming back or whatever. We don't, right? So a lot of things could have transpired, but at the end of the day, this map is out there, and I think the best part about it is that it uses longitude and latitude. So it's going to show exact degrees here. We don't even got to play around with it. This is so official. And I wish everybody knew that this map exists and studied it to this extent, because these cartographers didn't have planes. They weren't using photography. They had to walk these things out.
And if that's Antarctica and all the other continents are that close, that means this planet was smaller.
Much smaller. Right? So now I have to entertain what flat earthers are talking about. I don't have to subscribe to be a flat earther, but I'm going to entertain what they're saying when they say that the lands are not exactly what they say that it is. Because this map right here is only a couple hundred years old. Right? So how much could have changed possibly within that amount of time? But
you don't know if this is a copy of a copy of a copy from them.
We don't know. Well, no. This is Gerardo McConnell's map exact.
No, I'm saying when he wrote it, you don't know if he was copying other maps.
Possibly.
Yeah, he was like us researching, and he made this map.
Well, Gerardo Mercado was the guy. He was the guy. He wasn't like he had to copy anybody. He was the main cartographer for that era.
I don't mean literally copy. I mean figuring it out, like what was going on.
Got you. To build it. Got you. Yeah.
So my bad, Joe. I actually have a photo of what you're talking about. I'm trying to figure out how to get it on the screen of of the Nazi symbol. I have it where it talks about the Sumerians, how the Sumerians had already had that. And I can't get it on the screen, y'all. I'm trying to. I got it in my text messages in my phone, and I'm looking at it in my MacBook, but I'm trying to get it so I can put it on the screen, man.
All right, I'm gonna time out everything real quick. I'm gonna teach y'all something real quick about barbarians and their freaking stupid.
Well, you don't gotta time. All you gotta do is bring it up the screen, and I'll share it like the way he does.
No. I just gotta speak it, man. The Nazi, the whole Nazi and the barbaric ways is we would hijack things and turn it against you.
Yeah.
And that's why Thoth was like, whoa, we can't be having this now. Y'all need to get along. But then we got lost again.
Here you have the Nazi symbol all around the world. As you can see, it's an ancient symbol of peace, law, and abundance. Okay. Now look. Can y'all see the symbolism in this Nazi symbol and the map that I pulled up for y'all? Do you see it? Do you see the 4 islands and the river in the middle? Do you see it? And the 4 rivers? The triangles represent the 4 islands, family. The Nazi symbol represents the rivers and how they flow, the whirlpool. Okay.
So yeah, we hijacked the truth and used it against you.
Okay. Let's keep going. This is the Nazi symbol all around the world and how it's represented all around the world. You can find images of this everywhere. Here's the Native Americans using it. How did it become a Nazi symbol? What are we talking about here?
Talking about how the ignorance is the death of, like scripture, lack of knowledge, you die,
Right. So somebody said, stop calling it a Nazi symbol. Yeah, we might as well. But we got to meet people where they're at. They wouldn't know what we were talking about if we didn't say it, So we have to meet them where we're at.
That's the program, man.
Yeah, until we're ready to, as a collective, to change the name. But long story short, it's not a symbol of evil. It's not a symbol of hate. It never was. Here in the Americas, they may believe it, but around the world, people who see it every day, they know what it stands for, and it's still up in many, many countries, including Israel, in the Byzantine Church right now. In the Byzantine Church, you still have swastikas in Israel. So, lastly, it's getting late, but I want to say this, man. This was an awesome bill, first and foremost. Let's and I want to say, Thoth is super smart. McLeod, thanks for coming on, you as well. And the other brother, Rich Dollars, everybody that came on here, and Mr. Amili in the chat. Yes, that one. That's an awesome one too, the bowl. There's so many.
I'm trying to get that shit on screen, bro. I'm having a wild heart. I am trying, man.
Listen, there's so many, bro. I mean, I have an infinite amount of them in my phone because I did this, like I told you, I did this research a long time ago, and I've been standing on this for over a decade, waiting for anybody to rebuttal what the hell it is that I'm saying. I've even talked to people who are Jewish in reference to this, and they just run. They just run. They turn red in the face, and I can see, I don't say resentment, but they nervous because they know, like, when this information gets out, like it's a wrap. People are going to start looking at the last thing they want is for people to start looking at Hitler in a different light. That's the last thing they want. You know what I'm saying? So I'm the type of guy that took a Hitler speech and threw it in AI because I wanted to know what he was saying in German. I wanted to study, right? Does that make me a Nazi? No. Right? I study. And they don't want people studying this stuff in an honest way. They don't want people telling y'all what we know and what's available out there.
True talk, yo. I'm gonna find the speech for you, right? That's gonna blow your mind about that dude. I found a speech on him before he had money, before he was financially invested in, right? And he talks about wanting to go to war with America because they enslaved the original man.
Oh yeah.
And then he got money and everything changed.
He said that they stole, word for word, he said they stole God's jewel. And he was talking about Black American people. When he was talking about them boys and
people
our nationality, who we really are. They usurped our ethnicities. Okay. So we had such a good video here. I'm not going to go too far into it so we don't get this thing flagged. But let's just say that prior to World War II, the reason why he did what he did was not because he just hated a group of people. The hate came from because after World War I, they were giving damn near care packages to everybody in Germany except for Germans. Okay. The German men, women, and children were starving, and they lost well over, I believe it was don't quote me wrong, it was 60,000 or 600,000 children who had starved to death.
What years are we talking?
This is right before World War II.
Oh, okay. No.
This is what caused World War II. So 1944, 43-ish. What was World War I?
World War I was the after 1912 war, or 1920 or something like that. Hold on, let me double check. World War I was 1914 through 1918.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to show you something here.
Yeah, it was right after the 1912 war. The Spanish War.
Yes. So now imagine if we can actually choreograph a conversation like this where we can actually put our notes together and present it in a better way. I said, because this is all freestyle. Like what Dove is looking up right now, he didn't know he was going to look that up 20 minutes ago.
Right. No, but I'm quick.
This is all happening right now in real time.
It's all good. We be quick. It's all good.
I want to show you, please. Where is it? And I got this
because you know that history repeats. In the 1850s, they did the same thing to us, melanated German people.
In 1942.
For research purposes, I think this is going to be a real interesting story for anybody who doesn't know this, because they only tell you that this man was just like this evil guy who was just like killing all these people. They never tell you why. When it's time to tell you why, they just say, "Oh yeah, he was a hateful man." Well, let's
no, there's a reason Admiral Byrd saw UFOs with swastikas on them. Okay,
right?
Yeah. We tried to talk about that too. Everybody thought I was tripping, right? And then when I started screen sharing Admiral, so this is somebody this is in the military. This isn't somebody that was
and he was sent to explore. He was sent to explore.
I tell people, have you ever seen Ender's Game? I tell people Ender's Game is like a metaphorical spin of Admiral Byrd's life, because at the end they told Admiral Byrd you can take this fleet and go wherever you do whatever you want, just like they did to Ender. Take that fleet and go wherever you want. Ooh, my bad. Let me take this off the screen.
That's deep.
Oh, here we go. You see this? Y'all see these starving J guys here? You see them?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The Holocaust, the Holocaust people, you see this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. What if I told you these ain't Holocaust members? These are Germans.
Sounds about right. They probably have a little darker reddish skin too.
you can't even tell the difference between the J boys who starving and the Germans, can you? Right off the rip, you just accepted that these were right the J boys. They not. That's the Germans before World War II. That's
and if you look at them, you can see they have different skin tones.
Those are Germans. They were starving, and the U.S. and everybody was giving these boys care packages. The ones that was living in Germany. The J boys that was living in Germany, and they was eating the food right in their face and had these people starving like this. You just created what do you call it? A nemesis? What do you call it? A villain. You just created a villain. Huh? Does that make you think differently now? Does that make you want to say, hey, you know what? Let me listen to his speech in English now and hear what he's actually saying? Because you're not looking at people that are in a Holocaust right now. What you are looking at are Germans prior to the war. And you're looking at a man who was one of them and watching his people starve and say, yo, we just lost 600,000 babies. I'm not finna play with you guys. And y'all eating our care packages on our soil in our land?
Alicia's asking, it's black and white. How can you tell?
All right. All right. These are actual photos from that time. I can bring up more if you want. These are Germans.
Alicia said playing devil's advocate just for conversational purposes. And we're not going to go on too much longer. But
yeah, but I want them to go take a black and white picture of different shades of colors and see what they see.
Post-war hunger in Germany, 1918 to 1949. We're talking 30 years of hunger here. Okay? Let's stop playing. Y'all know how these people give it up. And they still doing the same thing today. It's not like you can't see it happening. They're giving you one story and only their side of the story. They're not giving you the other side. Have you ever heard a Hitler speech in English? Have you ever heard?
One. This one.
Okay.
And I told you what he was saying.
Okay. I bet you they gave you Stalin, though. I bet you they gave you Winston Churchill and all these other, right?
Well, no, I found out on my own on YouTube, bro. But that one video, I can't find it again. I told you, it's like the video I told you that they said that the FBI created that certain religion.
Yeah.
I've seen it, but I can't. I'm looking for the video, but I can't find it.
They don't want to put that up, beloved. They got that out there. If everybody knew, first and foremost, they wouldn't be up in government the way they are running the show.
I'm trying to tell you.
Because people would be hip to their ways. You understand? What's this on the screen?
I don't know. This is us. I thought you were sharing that now. This is our last live. That's what I just got to play it behind us with us and the Queens. I thought that was your screen right now. Mess me up. I know. That's our live with the Queens.
Got you.
I'm just putting it behind us for some spin.
So y'all understand? Like, yes, they weren't the only ones who suffered. And matter of fact, they wasn't the ones who were suffering first. Let's keep it a bean. They wasn't the ones that was as in retaliation to the response, the lack of response to the suffering that they were currently experiencing and stealing the resources.
My dad's mama, she's a migrant from the 1850s, Germans and Dutch. And they came here to America because they could actually feed themselves and get farms.
Come on, man. Come on, man. This is true history. You can't argue with the historical record. This is what happened. And now y'all can Google it for yourself and pull up Germans post-World War I, hunger. Just do that. Just do that. And then read. Read. I know we don't like to read. Y'all want it. That's why some of y'all are here, because you like the way we cook it up. But I want y'all to read, bro. Read. We giving y'all sources at the same time. Go and do the fact checking on what we saying. No, study to show thyself approved.
Right, but what Hitler did was still evil as fuck. So don't do that shit.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And let's be clear, we're not. But at the same time, I'm not gonna do the empathy thing. I'm not doing that. What I'm gonna do say is, compared to all the years, and that's another thing too. Like, this is what I see what Donald Trump is doing. I don't think people understand it. When you have so many years of being told lies, when the truth start coming, right? The truth don't gotta hold its tongue in any way, shape, form, or fashion. The same fire that y'all told these lies on, y'all gonna have to hear the truth. Listen, you know when people say keep that same energy? If you told the foulest story about somebody, I believe the truth, when it come back around, should give you the foulest punishment in return. See, I come from an African-based thought where it's eye for an eye. You do something foul to somebody, no, we're not going to keep sweeping it under the rug. None of that. You starve 600,000 people. So if you lose 600,000 a day, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing. They killed millions and millions of Africans. Millions and millions. Nobody talks about Leopold. Nobody. We're talking 4 million in a clip. And they still got the wars going on in the Congo. So when it flips, family, I don't want to hear shit. Because people are screaming from the mountaintops, yo, this is wrong. This is bad. Boom, boom, boom. When it flips, everybody wants sympathy now. No, it's just not gonna happen. These cards are going to balance themselves out at some point. This thing is gonna balance, and it's gonna balance equally. So just understand that if you get caught in the middle, you just got caught in the middle. But we gave you the true, right, and exact history as to what happened. I didn't make this up. I promise you. I didn't make up none of this. I wasn't even here. I wasn't even born yet. Understand? So you could take this, run with it, delve into it, understand it, and be clipped up when somebody tries to come to you with the empathy thing, because they done took the empathy thing all the way to the White House. They done took the empathy thing all the way into your pockets. They done took the empathy thing all the way to assassinating your leaders. And now they're trying to take it to a whole nother level of conquering the whole world, if you've been paying attention. Only a couple countries left that they haven't gotten it on.
King Charles, Ukraine, motherland of the barbarians.
It's all the ones they talking about today. Ukraine, Libya, right? All the ones they didn't take over yet. That's the ones that all of a sudden our freedom is over there and we need to go blow somebody up over there.
And Russia was there first.
If you're paying attention, you'll see. The only company or the only countries that aren't ruled by the new world order, as they say, the one banking system, are those several. It's only like I think 4 left now because they got another one, Libya. But all these other countries are not under this regime, and those are the ones that they start wars in because they need for them to be under our rulership and control. It's not a coincidence. Like, when did your freedom get to Afghanistan? I'm just saying. Like,
I have no desire to go to Afghanistan. I don't know.
Right? Right? Like, why are we in Afghanistan? Okay. Oh, drugs, opioids? Is that what it is? Because it's definitely not our freedom. I'm just, if you're paying a little bit of attention. So, all we can do is give y'all the information and then you gather what you want. You know what I'm saying? You gather what you want. But hopefully y'all learned something today. And y'all got something out of this. If you did, like, share, comment, screenshot important messages or whatever you got from it. You know what I'm saying? Put it on your social media platforms and all that. That would be very helpful to the channel, to Five's channel, to my channel as well. Make sure y'all follow us on all of our platforms. You know what I mean? Damn, it's after midnight. And we've been on here for 6 hours, bro.
This live was fire, bro. I didn't think we was gonna be on here this long, man. We still got 31 people watching.
My bad. I didn't mean to.
We got hearts on the screen, all kinds of shit, bro. Heart above my head, all kinds of shit, man. Well, I appreciate everybody pulling up, man. Don't nobody leave the panel. Everybody stay right here for one moment. Man, just putting y'all down for 1 minute, screen up. Hey, yo, I just want to say thank you for everybody pulling up. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Definitely get in that comment section, even on the reload. Keep spinning the block. Make sure you hit that notification bells because you never know what panel we're going to pull up. You never know what kind of knowledge we're going to drop. Just adhere to the creator in you and tell yourself positive things. How you talk to yourself is a very important thing. Anybody want to say anything before we check out?
Hey, may the divine force in me greet the divine force in you. May you manifest every heart's desire. Ashe, 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 and peace.
And with that, you know what's up. Anybody else? Nothing?
Peace, balance, success. Hopefully y'all find that. Salute.
Word.
Be the change you want to see.
That's a real great one.
Super facts.
Appreciate y'all, man. You know.